And I get so many questions about this topic of letting go of our story, getting out of our head. With me, I had an incredible teacher. And he would just simply ask me, is it true? Is it true what you're thinking? And so this became my question. And to myself, as I found myself lost in thought, I would just ask, is it true? Do I know this for certain? And very quickly, I discovered that almost everything I thought would not pass this test. Everything I thought was simply that, just some series of thoughts which created some story, some virtual reality in my mind, and it created such suffering within me. So when I would go to my teacher and tell him, all my struggles, and he would just simply ask me, is it true? And then I would laugh out loud because I'd see it wasn't true. Of course, there was times when I wanted to argue. But I saw very clearly that what I thought, what I was attached to, was not true. It was not the truth of the situation. The truth of the situation was that I felt pain and division within myself from believing the thoughts in my mind. And so in these moments, I would let go of my thoughts and experience immediate relief, immediate awakening. And so this is our invitation in any moment. If we're struggling with something, can we just let go of our story? Can we question our story and allow the story to die? And as we do, we just come back to this natural state of presence, which is so amazing. It's timeless. It's eternal. It's the very thing looking out of your eyes in every moment. It's the very space out of which our neurotic thoughts are arising. And so it's a beautiful thing to discover this, that we can just let go of our story, that no story is true. All stories within our mind are just that, stories within our mind. They are complete and total virtual realities. And so such a sense of relief to step back away from what we're thinking and see the big picture. But not only see the big picture, but become the big picture. So not just to see it from a vast distance, the thing we're struggling with, but to become the spaciousness in which the story is arising. If we want to be free, we must be willing to become the big picture. And so it's a beautiful thing to step into this which is ironically what we always already are in every moment. And so many people do this work and they experience transcendent freedom. And then some time goes by, they get comfortable with the transcendent freedom and they notice, there's different aspects of their story coming forward again and again. And so this is good news. Because what this is the places within us that are still tight, that are still stuck, that are still tripping. In a sense, these places are our evolving edge. And so then the invitation becomes, from this vast transcendent space, which is loving, which is compassionate, which is free, can we embrace these places of pain within us and meet them fully and completely with love? Can we meet them fully, totally, without reservation, open-heartedly, not as some mental transcendent activity, but from the hugeness of our heart, from the fearlessness of our heart? Can we embrace the pain within us? As we do this work, we begin to step into the two aspects of God. One is we let go of the story and step into being the big picture. We become the vast, transcendent, timeless, eternal space, our eternal Buddha nature, which is one with all of life. And so there's this aspect of God, but there's also this evolving aspect of God, this evolutionary aspect of God. this evolutionary aspect of God, it works in form, it works in evolution. It uses our story, the stories that we can't transcend. It uses them as our teacher. And in a sense, the stories that we can't transcend is the very intelligence of God coming forward in some form, helping us to awaken deeper and deeper aspects of ourselves. As we do, we awaken our humanity. We awaken the world. We awaken life to itself in form, in a dynamic way. And so, of course, the first way, where we just step out of our story, see the big picture, then become the big picture, well, that's the first stage. The deeper stages are coming into our heart and meeting everything within us from the overwhelming intimacy and wisdom and divinity of our heart space. And even further is to see that our evolving edge, all the places within our humanity, that these two are God, that this is God in evolution, that we are the very movement of God in evolution coming forward. And so it's wonderful work to be this open. And from this openness to embody our humanity, to embody the dynamic flow of God which goes from darkness to light. So the darkness, it comes forward within us and it goes to the light. It wants to be healed, it wants to be released, it wants to evolve. This is the movement of this world. And so oftentimes I work with people and they say, I'm struggling with this or this or this. Or I find these things within myself that I'm struggling with. And the constant reminder is that these things within us are God. The things that we struggle with are the evolving edge of God. The evolving edge of ourselves, because we are one with God. We are one with divinity. And so the spiritual path isn't simply about just transcending our humanity. That's the first step. And as we do, we experience that freedom. But then it's about coming down and embodying this in a full and complete way. And as we do this, we discover our inherent, indestructible, compassionate nature. That we are one with God, and God's movement is always to greater and greater expression of itself. God doesn't want to just hang out in heaven. God created this world to have the experience of growth, to have the experience of expression. And so as we do this work, we become more and more in alignment with our own heart space, with our own divine expression. And as we do this work, as we step more and more into our heart, then instead of God reflecting struggles, God reflects our beauty, God reflects our divinity. And so this work, it begins to snowball, it begins to avalanche. We begin to experience ourself, our freedom, in greater and greater ways, in greater and greater capacities, in situations where we never knew that were even possible. Situations where we once experienced despair, sadness, anger, rage. As we embrace these situations with a fearless love, those situations are healed within us. We become more fearless, we become more free, we become more embodied, we become more powerful. And as we do this, then God begins to reflect our power, our beauty, our divinity, our manifestation, our expression in the world. And then instead of attracting things that we're going to trip over, we attract things where we are in this river of divinity, this river of manifestation, this river of empowerment. we get to have the experience of being God in form. We're all having that experience unconsciously. But at this day and age, we're getting to have this experience consciously. And so it's a wonderful time to be alive. So our constant invitation is to let go of that which is unconscious within us. If it continues to come forward, to embrace it fully with love. And as we embrace it fully with love, we become the very movement of love itself in a powerful and manifest way here in these forms.